Welcome to Naples. You are about to embark on our fourth journey through this fascinating city, and our first adventure using public transportation. But don't worry, it left us with only good memories. Our exploration starts with another Neapolitan gem, the Capodimonte Museum. This place will delight not only art enthusiasts, but also anyone who enjoys stunning views and a peaceful escape from the city's hustle and bustle. Next, we'll visit the exceptionally preserved Catacombs of San Gennaro before returning to the historic center. Here, we'll stroll through the lively Spanish Quarter, exploring the famous streets of Via Toledo and Via Chiaia. Later, we'll gradually make our way towards the park, aquarium, and the beach. We hope you'll enjoy this walk. As always, maps, detailed routes, and all points of interest can be found on our website. The link is also provided in the video's description. And of course, a huge thank you for every like, comment, and subscription. It brings us great joy and motivation. You're awesome. So, shall we get started? Introducing Strolling Through Naples, Art, Beaches Underground, and Pizza. Today's walk begins at Capodimonte Hill. Getting here is easy. There is a direct bus from Piazza Dante, which itself is easily accessible by metro. Capodimonte is a remarkable place in Naples, blending nature, art, spirituality, and history. It's best to start your visit with a stroll through Real Bosco di Capodimonte, an expansive park offering panoramic views of Naples and the Gulf of Naples. Once a royal hunting ground, today it serves as a perfect spot to escape the city bus. Thanks to dedicated botanists, the park features numerous exotic and rare plants, trees, and shrubs, making it Naples' largest green area, even larger than London's Hyde Park. At the park's center stands an impressive palace, housing one of southern Italy's most important art museums, Museo di Capodimonte. Built at the initiative of Charles of Bourbon, King of Naples and Sicily. Its construction began in 1738 to accommodate an extraordinary art collection inherited from his mother, Elizabeth Farnese. This collection, initiated by Pope Paul III in the 16th century, is considered one of Europe's most valuable private art collections. Initially intended as a royal gallery and hunting lodge, the museum still showcases a collection of historic weapons, daggers, and armor from that era. Interestingly, Capodimonte was among the first places in Naples supplied by the Carolino Aqueduct, a modern 18th century water system constructed explicitly for the royal residence. The palace opened its doors as a national museum in 1957. Today, Capodimonte is renowned for its exceptional collection of Italian Renaissance and Baroque art. Across its 3 floors, visitors can admire masterpieces by artists like Caravaggio, Titian, and Raphael. Besides paintings, the museum also houses an extraordinary decorative art collection, including the renowned Capodimonte porcelain, crafted specifically for the royal court. After visiting the museum, we'll continue our walk towards less frequented but equally remarkable sites. Just a short stroll from the park is the Basilica of Our Lady of Good Counsel, surprising visitors with its monumental grandeur and tranquility. Constructed in the 20th century and architecturally inspired by St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican, it impresses with its vast dome, classical colonnades, and bright interior, adorned with mosaics and marble altars. Although relatively young, the basilica quickly became an important place of worship for Capodimonte's residents. The basilica has been associated with numerous healings and graces attributed to the intercession of the Virgin Mary. One of the most symbolic events occurred after the devastating 1980 earthquake that struck southern Italy. The monumental statue of Our Lady of Good Counsel atop the basilica fell to the ground due to the quake. Miraculously, despite falling from a significant height, the statue remained largely intact, especially the face and hands, and no one was injured. Many considered this event a miraculous sign of Mary's protection and presence over the city. The restored statue was later returned to its place, and residents still recall that day with profound emotion. Just a few steps away, on the basilica's square, lies the entrance to the Catacombs of San Gennaro. This ancient Christian necropolis was carved into the soft volcanic tuff as early as the 2nd century AD. These catacombs are the largest underground burial complex in the southern Italy and one of the best preserved examples of early Christian architecture. Within its underground corridors, visitors can see tombs of bishops, frescoes, mosaics, and paintings depicting biblical scenes and portraits of the deceased. It was here that the remains of San Gennaro, the patron saint of Naples, were temporarily laid to rest. His cult remains deeply significant to the city's inhabitants. Photography is not permitted inside the catacombs, making it a place well worth experiencing firsthand during your stay in Naples. We return to Piazza Dante, again via a direct bus. Just a few stops and we're back in the heart of Naples. From here we head into one of the city's most fascinating neighborhoods, Quartieri Spagnoli. Quartieri Spagnoli, or the Spanish Quarter, is where Naples beats most vividly. Established in the 16th century to accommodate Spanish soldiers, hence its name. It quickly transformed from a symbol of military order into a densely populated area, vibrant with daily life. Narrow streets where the sky is barely visible form a maze of history, daily routines, and emotions. Laundry hangs from balconies, colorful shrines dedicated to saints adorn the alleys. And at almost every corner you hear conversations, laughter, sometimes arguments. Real life in its rawest, most authentic form. We proceed along Via Toledo, a street synonymous with elegance and urban splendor. It's one of the city's main pedestrian areas, lined with boutiques, cafes, and majestic palaces. On the way, we'll pass Toledo metro station, recognized as one of the world's most beautiful stations. Featuring mosaics reminiscent of ocean depths and mesmerizing lightning effects. Toledo station is just a stop along our route. We won't take the metro from here. Instead, we'll continue our journey on foot. Via Toledo is also a place where various threads of Neapolitan geography intertwine. Nearby is the lower station of Funicolare Centrale, one of the funicular railways that have connected the city center with higher districts for over 100 years. If you feel like changing your perspective, literally, hop on the funicular. And in just a few minutes, you'll find yourself on Vomero Hill, offering one of the most stunning panoramic views of the city, the Gulf of Naples, and Mount Vesuvius. At the summit, you'll find the impressive Castel Sant'Elmo, a powerful 16th century fortress with a distinctive star-shaped layout. Once used for military and prison purposes, today it is one of the best scenic viewpoints in Naples. Right next to it is the Certosa di San Martino, a former monastery, now rich in art and history. If you have time, it's definitely worth making this quick ascent. Returning is just as easy. You can take the funicular back down to Via Toledo and dive once again into the lively city atmosphere. In Naples, it only takes a moment to move from crowded streets to quiet spaces overlooking the sea. Heading south, we'll pass the Galleria Umberto I on our left, a monumental shopping gallery dating back to the late 19th century, which we mentioned during our second walk. Be sure to look up again and admire its iron and glass dome, and intricately decorated interior. Can you guess where we've arrived? We're at the elegant Piazza Trieste Trento, with the familiar artichoke fountain from our second route in its center. And further along, the famous Gambrinus Cafe, a favorite haunt for intellectuals, artists, and politicians since the late 19th century. To the left, Piazza del Plebiscito emerges, making us feel right at home in Naples. But that's not all. This time we'll take a slightly different route. Instead of heading towards the coast and Piazza del Plebiscito, we'll venture underground. We're about to take you on one of the underground tours of Naples, a fascinating world of tunnels, cisterns, and secrets hidden beneath the feet of the city's inhabitants for centuries. While the streets of Naples can surprise at every turn, the real surprises often lie beneath them. Napoli Sotterranea, or underground Naples, is a network of ancient tunnels, aqueducts, cisterns, and corridors that have served various functions over the centuries. From water reservoirs and wartime shelters to hiding places for smuggling and secret meetings. The entrance to one of the main sections of this route is located just steps away from Piazza Trieste Trento. During the tour, we descend approximately 131 feet beneath the city's surface, about as deep as a multi-story building. As we navigate narrow corridors and vast chambers carved from volcanic tuff, we'll travel back over 2,000 years, to the time of the ancient Greeks, who first began extracting stone here for constructing their city. Later, in the Roman era, the system was expanded into a complex network of aqueducts, supplying water to homes and fountains. During World War II, these underground spaces were used as air raid shelters. You can still see remnants like folding beds, graffiti, and everyday items left behind from that time. Interestingly, many of these underground spaces lie directly beneath apartment buildings and palaces, with residents sometimes having direct access to them from their basements. In certain areas, you can even see fragments of Roman streets, ancient staircases, and mysterious passages that remain partially unexplored. This experience is like traveling in a time machine, demonstrating that Naples thrives not only on its surface, but also deep within its history. If you truly want to understand the city, you need to go beneath its surface, quite literally. After emerging from underground Naples, we find ourselves once again near Piazza Trieste Trento. It's the perfect moment to pause our walk for something special. Just a few steps away, at Via Chiaia 1, is the legendary pizzeria Brandi. According to Neapolitan legend, this is the exact place where in 1889 the Margherita pizza was served for the first time. prepared especially for the Queen of Italy, Margherita of Savoy. Pizzaiolo Raffaele Esposito created a pizza reflecting the colors of the national flag: green basil, white mozzarella, and red tomatoes, a simply yet brilliant symbol of unified Italy. The Queen was delighted, and the pizza has carried her name ever since. Today, Pizzeria Brandi is not just a restaurant, but a pilgrimage site for lovers of Italian cuisine from around the globe. The original 19th century interior remains intact, and the walls are adorned with memorabilia, photos, and letters, including the famous document confirming the Queen's prize. Take a seat, order a classic margherita prepared according to traditional Neapolitan methods, and soak in the atmosphere. The taste of this pizza isn't just culinary pleasure, it's a part of Naples' identity. After visiting Pizzeria Brandi, we continue our walk along Via Chiaia, an elegant, partly covered shopping street connecting Piazza Trieste e Trento with the Chiaia district, one of Naples' most fashionable and stylish areas. It's the perfect place for a leisurely stroll, beneath the shadow of palatial facades, exploring boutiques, galleries, and cozy cafes. As we move towards Piazza dei Martiri, we pass one of the area's architectural highlights, the Porta di Chiaia, also known as Arco di Chiaia. This elegant neoclassical arch from the 18th century once symbolized the entrance to this part of the city. Today, it might not stand out like the monumental gates of ancient Rome, but for Neapolitans, it symbolizes a tradition between worlds. From the elegant cosmopolitan Chiaia to the more historic, vibrant city center. The gate was built during Bourbon rule to emphasize the district's prestige, home to aristocrats and the affluent. Nowadays, it's a landmark signaling your approach to Naples' heart. Pause for a moment and view it in the warm afternoon sun. The marble takes on golden hues, lending the narrow streets around it a unique atmosphere. Continuing along Via Chiaia, we arrive at one of Naples' most elegant squares, Piazza dei Martiri. The square is surrounded by impressive palaces, like Palazzo Partana and Palazzo Calabritto, and nearby streets feature boutiques from the world's top fashion houses and chic cafes. At the center of the square stands a slender column topped by an allegorical female figure symbolizing the virtue of the martyrs, representing sacrifice and the fight for freedom. Even more striking are the four marble lions at the monument's base, each telling a story from Naples' turbulent history. The dying lion symbolizes heroes fallen during the Parthenopean Republic of 1799. The lion pierced by a sword commemorates victims of the Carbonari uprising in 1820. The lion resting with a document beneath its paw memorializes the revolution of 1848. The lion standing proudly symbolizes those fallen in battles for the unification of Italy in 1860. Each sculpted lion has its distinct character and emotion. Together, they form a monument, both beautiful and deeply symbolic. It's a place for reflection, but also a favorite spot for residents to gather for coffee or shopping. Piazza dei Martiri shows how even Naples' most elegant places have depth and memory. From Piazza dei Martiri, we head toward the sea. Within a few minutes' walk, we reach the pathways of Villa Comunale, one of Naples' oldest and most distinguished parks. This elegant park was established in the 18th century as a royal garden, originally accessible only to the aristocracy. Today it's a beloved spot for locals, filled with tall palms, marble sculptures, and cast iron lamps in Belle Epoque style. After a few minutes of walking, we reach a low neoclassical building with a columned portico. The Naples Aquarium, one of the oldest operating aquariums in Europe. Established in 1874 by Anton Dorn, a German zoologist and pioneer of marine biology. The aquarium was part of a larger research project, the Stazione Zoologica Anton Dorn. At the time, it was the first scientific aquarium open to the public and a research institution of international significance. Inside, you'll find a small but fascinating collection of marine life typical of the Gulf of Naples. It is an excellent opportunity to closely observe underwater life from the waters surrounding Naples. No special effects or exaggerated displays, but rather an authentic educational experience deeply connected to the local context. The aquarium retains the unique atmosphere of a 19th century natural history museum. With informative panels, traditional display cases, and classical architecture. Quiet, peaceful, and not crowded, it's an ideal spot for a moment of rest and reflection of Naples' deep bond with the sea, not just geographically, but culturally too. Leaving the aquarium, we continue toward the coast, strolling along the waterfront promenade Lungomare Caracciolo. With the sea on our left and elegant villas and palaces on our right, it's one of the most delightful walks in the city. Ahead, we can already see the monumental equestrian statue. This is the monument dedicated to Marshal Armando Diaz, a hero of World War I and one of the architects of Italy's victory over Austria-Hungary. Erected in the 1930s, the statue depicts Diaz proudly mounted on his horse in full armor. His silhouette stands out against the backdrop of the Gulf of Naples, symbolizing strength and determination, not just military, but national as well. It's a historically significant spot for locals and a wonderful viewpoint and photo backdrop for tourists. Right nearby is the modest yet beloved local beach known as Mappatella. Its name derives from the Neapolitan word Mappatella, meaning a small bundle. Historically, locals would spontaneously come here carrying their bundles, set them down on the sand or stones, and enjoy a swim without much preparation. Today, it's still a place of gathering, relaxation, lively conversations, music, children splashing around, and ice cream eating. And here, on the shore of the Gulf of Naples, our journey comes to an end. A journey filled with contrasts, history, flavors, and emotions. Because Naples is exactly like this: intense, surprising, unforgettable. A city you don't just visit, but fully experience. Thank you for joining us on this walk. We hope it has inspired you and encouraged you to see Naples with your own eyes. If you enjoyed this tour, please leave a like or a comment. And if you're ready for more adventures, make sure to join our subscribers. See you in Naples!